Good evening. I'm Claude Dickory. This is a swamp on the outskirts of Trenton, Nova Scotia, a place where the water is black as ink and the trees grow twisted, their roots tangled in the mud like veins. 10 years ago, in the winter of 1990, a man walking his dog made a terrible discovery here. He found part of a human body, a torso, pale and bloated from weeks in the water, wrapped in a blood-stained tarpaulin. In the days that followed, police uncovered other parts buried in the swamp: a forearm, a leg severed just above the knee, a skull that had been shattered by blunt force trauma. The remains were identified through dental records. The victim was Billy Smith, a local teenager who had vanished nearly a year earlier. The people here say Billy was killed because he talked too much. He'd given police detailed information about a series of fires in this area, fires that had terrorized a small community called Hillside for years. Billy was supposed to testify in court, but he didn't live long enough. The body was cut up. The arms were severed at the shoulders. The legs were removed just below the knees. No one who saw it could forget. The mutilation wasn't just to conceal the identity. It was a message, and no one here ever spoke about it openly. This was a place where silence ran deeper than the swamp water. By the late 1970s, Hillside, a cluster of weather-beaten houses just outside Trenton, was plagued by fires. Almost weekly, a house burned. The fires followed a pattern: gasoline or accelerant used to ensure total destruction. Nothing was ever salvaged. Livestock perished. Families lost everything. RCMP Sgt. Dave Holmes had spent 15 years in the force, most of it in rural Nova Scotia. For 9 months, he'd been chasing the arsonist through these woods, following a trail of charred debris and eyewitness accounts. He was relentless. Some called him a thorn in the side of the community. And then he met Billy Smith. Billy was 18 years old, living in a home with no running water, no phone. His father had died of a heart attack when Billy was 13. 2 younger brothers had drowned years earlier, their bodies found downstream in the same swamp where Billy would later be found. The Smiths were poor, struggling, and Billy had dropped out of school. He'd been in and out of juvenile detention for petty theft and break-ins. But when Holmes talked to him, he saw something else. Billy knew things. He told Holmes he could name the person setting the fires, and he knew it was dangerous to talk. Billy's girlfriend, Tammy Burnett, was 16. She loved him, but she knew he was afraid, and she knew what fear could do to him. They'd been together since she was 14, and she'd seen Billy's defiance crumble when Charlie Bailey's name came up. There was another name that kept coming up in Hillside: Charlie Bailey, 6 years older than Billy, a friend, or so Billy claimed. But Tammy had seen Charlie when he drank, and when Charlie drank, he wasn't the same man. He was violent, prone to sudden rages. She'd heard him threaten people before. One night, after an argument at the Smith house, Charlie pulled a knife. Billy barely escaped. The blade grazed his ribs. He still had the scar years later. And then, in October 1978, Billy was arrested. Assault charges. He was scared, terrified of jail. So when Holmes offered him a deal, he took it. Billy said Charlie Bailey was the arsonist. He said Charlie would set fires after drinking, sometimes after breaking into the homes. Billy claimed he went along because he was afraid of Charlie. He was directly involved, but he knew enough. Holmes believed him. The RCMP had no other suspects. Billy's information lined up with their findings: accelerant traces, footprints, and a single witness who'd seen a man matching Charlie's description near a fire. 2 days later, Billy met with the RCMP in secret at a motel outside town. He repeated his story. He said Charlie had threatened to kill him if he ever squealed, that he'd cut him up into pieces, and Billy was terrified. He implicated Charlie in 6 fires. For his cooperation, Billy was charged, but Charlie Bailey was. Charlie denied everything, but the Crown knew they needed Billy to testify. The case against Charlie was circumstantial at best. They needed a witness. But there was a problem. Billy wasn't going to wait around for court. The day before his preliminary hearing, he vanished. He and Tammy left for Toronto the same night, taking only what they could carry. The Crown tried to locate him, but Billy was gone. Then, in November 1979, nearly a year after Billy disappeared, Charlie showed up at the Smith house. He asked if Billy was home. Marion Smith, Billy's mother, lied. But Charlie didn't believe her. Days later, he walked right in. Billy was there. Charlie confronted him, accused him of talking to the police. Billy denied it, but Charlie didn't back down. He was drunk, slurring his words. The argument escalated. Billy's younger brothers hid upstairs, trembling. Judio, Charlie's voice breaking. That night, Billy and Charlie drank together. It was the last time anyone saw Billy alive. The next morning, the RCMP searched the house. Billy was hiding in the attic. They didn't find him, but they knew he was still in Hillside. Then came the snowstorm. The search was delayed until spring. Meanwhile, rumors spread. Some said Billy had run off to Toronto for work. Others whispered he was dead. But no one dared say it out loud. Not in Hillside. Not where Charlie Bailey still walked free. On August 10th, 1980, a man walking his dog found something in the swamp. A pair of blue jeans, stiff with dried blood. And then, the body, cut in half at the waist. Legs severed at the knees. The skull was shattered, beaten beyond recognition. 6's dental records confirmed it was Billy Smith. He'd been shot 4 times at close range with a shotgun. Charlie Bailey was arrested a week later. Sergeant Holmes confronted him. No reaction. The RCMP searched the Bailey home. They took shotguns, saws, a chainsaw. But there was no direct evidence linking him to the murder. No murder weapon. No witness who could place him at the swamp that night.